What it do, YouTube? It's your boy, Young Jupiter, Big Jupiter, or you can just call me Jupiter. Just make sure you call me. Before we get to this video, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Today, we got cocky fighters get on again and again and again. I wanted to add that last again because it's the saying, if you can't back it up, shut the hell up. Hey, just shut up. It never works out for you. Hey, link to the original video down below if you want to check it out for yourself. Without further ado, let's get to it.
Many fighters only know how to trash talk their opponents, but when it's time to fight,
Yeah, it's just a lot of people who know how to sell a fight. That's it.
they're a big disappointment. And that is why it is so satisfying when they get knocked down a peg or two within the ring. In this video, we're gonna take a look at 10 moments when cocky fighters get owned and destroyed. So let's start. Number 10, Raulio Rodriguez versus Ryan Garcia. Even at the weigh-in where Raulio Rodriguez subbed his opponent, it was clear that he thought he was far better than his opponent Garcia. After Garcia fired up a few punches, Rodriguez's cockiness overdrive as he believed he had an easy victory on his hands. After the two burst away from the lock, Garcia managed to land a vicious hook that dropped Rodriguez on his backside. After a minute or so, Rodriguez continued fighting and began showing off.
I wonder if this is the one where he knocked him out the ring. I'm trying to see.
Trying to dodge punches. He later danced in the octagon and even stuck out his tongue tauntingly. Of course, it was all front, and Garcia managed to knock his cocky opponent almost clean out of the ring.
This the one.
Number 9, Badr Hari versus Peter Graham. Cocky kickbox fighter Badr Hari showed nothing but disrespect to Peter Graham running up to the fight. At the press conference, he even refused to shake hands and went on to insult.
Did he just try to kiss that man? Okay.
Graham by calling him an amateur. Later that day after the press conference, Hari could have resisted trying to intimidate Graham, also planning a kiss on the Australian opponent, which resulted in a slam to the ground. In the ring, the cocky Badr Hari got another taste of sweet karma when Graham made quick work of him with a spinning wheel kick to the face, sending him out of the arena in an ambulance. After this, I'm sure he would.
Bro, I know he didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. That was crucial.
Not dare to disrespect or intimidate his opponents. Number 8, Deontay Wilder versus Bermane Stiverne. Bermane Stiverne had a lot to say during his press conference before his fight with Deontay Wilder. Promising to break his ribs and jaw before the fight was over, he warned his opponent to send him home packing and force him to retire. Of course, with such tough words, it wasn't Stiverne's best interest to at least beat the man he was talking so much trash about. On fight night, however, Wilder got his revenge by controlling the match with his calm attitude. Before
Bro shook his head trying to be in denial like, he didn't just do that. He did.
firing a jab that knocked Stiverne onto his back in the first round. Stiverne still tried to keep the fight going, but after shakily stepping up to Wilder, he was again smacked back into the corner. One final time, he tries to fight, but at this point, he just becomes Wilder's punching bag before being knocked out.
This is an 11 I did, but bro, I didn't realize that he literally folded him. He got folded. Damn.
Number 7, Jason R. Solomon versus Amitesh Chaubey. There's nothing more embarrassing than clowning your opponent and then getting your behind handed back to you in a devastating and humiliating fashion. When Jason Solomon entered the ring to fight Chaubey, he came in with a bad attitude. He walked to the cage to jumpy music and an entourage of tough-looking guys. Solomon danced his way to the cage with complete confidence, pointing to people in the crowd, strutting his stuff, and giving each of his guys a hug before entering the cage. Once inside, he pranced around like a fool, obviously enjoying the crowd's favor, but little did he know what was about to happen. The TV broadcasters tipped it off and mentioned his opponent Chompy as a big puncher. The key for Solomon was to stay away from Chompy's knockout power, but he either didn't do his homework or he just didn't believe he could get knocked out. As the sound of the first bell rang, Chompy and
Never underestimate your opponent. Never. Never.
Solomon met at the center of the cage. As Solomon lunged in to throw a combination, Chompy clipped him with a solid overhand, which dumped Solomon to the cage.
Already. You did it to yourself, bucko.
A series of hammer fists sealed the deal, and that's all that was needed to complete one of the most hilarious finishes to a fight in recent memory. Number 6. Bobby Green versus Dustin Poirier. If you're gonna hold your hands and arms wide open for your opponent to strike you, don't be upset
I feel like when that happens, that deserves to happen, because why are you doing that?
when they actually strike you again and again and again. Here you see Mr. Cocky Bobby Green acting as though nothing can even touch him, when in fact, everything touched him. A vicious right jab, the kicks, and then it was all thanks to his open and welcoming arms that Dustin Poirier decided to knock not once but twice right there in his face. Bobby Green goes down to the ground multiple times, but eventually ends up being pummeled until the referee jumps in to call the fight done and dusted. After this much beating, I'm sure this guy
You get the look of disappointment.
stopped sending out invites to professional fighters. Number 5. Frank Sanchez versus Julian Fernandez. Here's another cocky fighter exposing all his body to the opponent and getting what he deserved. Backed against the ropes, Fernandez just continued taunting his opponent, Frank Sanchez.
Why would you invite someone to keep beating you? Okay, go ahead, buddy.
As though he is the one dishing out the blows. I know it's one thing to taunt, but when you're dominating a fight, it's a whole other story when your opponent is beating the hell out of you. And that's exactly what this cocky fighter asked for. When we say that the fighter in red, Sanchez, delivered this package like it was one-day shipping and free returns, we mean it. The skillful Sanchez mostly battered Fernandez before he knocked his opponent out of the ring just after the midway mark of the 7th round with a brutal...
Well, I'm sorry, I can't get knocked out is one thing, but you get knocked out the ring, that's a whole different level of just, like, you would really have to quit. You would have to quit.
hand. Fernandez fell between the 2nd and 3rd ropes onto the ring apron. The referee
Like, just look at this, bro. You would have to quit after this.
started to count, but he quickly realized Fernandez was in no condition to continue. He was dazed and confused, and I'm pretty sure he was rethinking his life right now. Number 4. Javier Rodriguez versus Quincy Westby. This is Westby, another arrogant fighter who believes he has the upper hand over his opponent Rodriguez. However, that wasn't
Why he was making those facial expressions? Okay, bucko.
the case. During the 5th round, he finds himself at the end of a vicious left hook that completely dismantled him and sends him straight to the ground. He was so perplexed that even his legs got crossed and mixed up as to where to go. His stunt body lay there, probably wondering where did that come from. It's hard to tell here, but if you look real closely, you can see the soul leave his body just so gracefully
Oh my
on his
God.
descent. Number 3. Charles Latuparissa versus Sultan Al Nuaimi. Charles Latuparissa certainly knew how to make an entrance when
He came in the ring dancing. You deserve to lose.
pulled out some MC Hammer moves to impress the Dubai crowd at Caesar's Palace prior to his fight with Sultan Al Nuaimi. Sadly for Charles, it was his loss that made for the real hammer time
We should call this the last dance, cause this is your last dance.
as he was smashed down under the canvas and through the ropes by Sultan. He was floored twice and knocked out within the first round. The dancing fighter tried to beat the count, but he couldn't get to his feet on time.
Imagine you doing all that to lose. Let that sink in.
Number 2. Nate Campbell versus Robbie Pettit. If you thought Anderson Silva's I can dodge any punch strategy versus Chris Weidman was bad, this is much worse. Campbell was all over Robbie Pettit during the fight and thoroughly taken over in the 5th round after hurting his opponent with a body shot. After such a brutal attack, Pettit was in survival mode and everyone thought Campbell had this fight in the bag. However, it wasn't the case. Campbell opted to showboat, hands down with no expectation that Robbie would have anything left in the tank. He was wrong, and Pettit uncorked
You gotta remember, all it takes is one good punch. That's all it takes. No matter if you up or not, all it takes is that one good one.
perfect left hook that sent the cocky Campbell crashing to the canvas.
Bro hit him with one of those ones. He gonna be thinking later, like, damn, did I get jumped? Nah, bro. That was one man fist to your face, bro. Retired.
Fight over. Campbell went from a win to a loss in the most amazingly absurd fashion. Number 1. Adonis Stevenson versus Thomas Williams. Cocky fighters do many annoying things, and one of them is dancing in the ring. In this fight, Thomas Williams was able to deliver some punches to Stevenson just before the bell. He got cocky and started dancing in the ring. He should have saved that energy because he was soon going to need it to stand from the floor when he gets knocked out. In the 4th round, Stevenson had dominated the fight and started delivering several punches and a final left hook that sent Williams to the floor. He made a failed attempt to stand, but he couldn't beat the time.
Like, bro, you get knocked out and you just laying there on, like, stomach flat, like you going to sleep. Man, it's crazy. It's embarrassing.
This was all for today. I hope
Yeah, that's crazy. But a lot of people did deserve it. I'm gonna be honest, they deserve this. This is what happened when you talk shit, can't back it up. It's your fault. Hey, that's on you. Hey, that's the end of this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you will. I'm out.